Face me. And then turn towards me. Put in a portrait, bro. What are you doing? Don't do it that way. What are you doing? Which way? Come on. It's incredible. Incredible. This is how you supposed to hold it. Oh, okay, my bad. Incredible. Can't use your fingers in the way. We like. Alright. I'm trying to share it.
Shalom, make sure y'all like and share the video.
Yeah, shalom. All praise Yahweh Shemel Shai. Make sure to like, sub, share, super chat if it's on your heart. I want to do this quick live through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're out with a camp, you know, our Thursday camp. Through the spirit here at CNN Center here in Atlanta, GA. Got a call a little bit ago about some information.
In a quarter mile, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto Flat Shoals Road.
Got a little information a little while ago, about an hour ago, through the spirit. I gotta start from the beginning though, right? So in 2011, the beginning of 2011,
use the 2 lanes to turn left onto Flat Shoals Road.
I joined my first camp after being in the truth for 2.5 years. The first camp I joined at the time was called GMS Seattle, right? Now they're known as GMS Northwest, but at that time it was GMS Seattle, Great Millstone, Seattle. I joined that camp. When I joined that camp, I'm coming in just as somebody had got kicked out. The individual that got kicked out was a dude who at the time went by the name of Abad Babal. He received that name from Elder Sicarii of GMS, Abad Babal, right? Abad Babal got kicked out. He earned various negative monikers.
Continue for 3/4 of a mile.
Various negative monikers. Most popularly the Dominican nigga, they called him. He's of the tribe of Simeon, the so-called Dominican. Those of y'all that been around and watched GMS from back in the day, we talking about been around for in the neighborhood of a decade. You may recall the time he went up to the elders, showed the elders the tattoos he got. You know, when I say the elder Tahar, you know, in particular, showed him he had got tattoos, things of that nature. When he was real new, you know, kind of fresh and brand new to the truth. For those of y'all that was around during that time, brothers who was around at that time, love me or hate me, or like me or dislike me rather. I believe y'all are gonna appreciate this story and appreciate the attention to detail I'm giving. Because this is who's going to get a lot out of it. Brothers who was around back at that time. Anyway, call him the Dominican, okay? He was in the service, Army. While overseas in Korea in the Army, he taught the truth and brought certain brothers in. Brother Tazanawa, who now goes by the name Ainawa, who's currently in GMS Northwest, still to this day. Brother named Shaquat, who's no longer in GMS, but he's still in the truth. I speak to him here and there. I want to talk about though the most is Brother Shaquat. So what happens is this. Our brother Shaquat Gabar, humble brother, quiet brother, brotherly brother, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You know, he's taught the truth by this man in Korea while they in the Army. They come back Brother stationed in Fort Lewis, out there in Lakewood, Washington. When my father was born there, I'm very familiar with the base. Staying in the barracks, and the brother Ababa Ball, or not the brother, this guy, the Dominican nigga, formerly known as Ababa Ball, which people know him more prominently now as Joshua Miguel. His government name, Joshua Miguel. At this time, he was Ababa Ball. He falls on hard times. He's homeless. So our brother Shaquat.
In 1,000 feet, turn left onto the I-20 West ramp.
So our brother Shaquat, being brotherly, feeling indebted to this man, of course, because he woke him up to the truth, right? He lives, Shaquat
Turn
lives,
left onto the I-20 West ramp.
Shaquat lives free on the barracks, right? He's in the service. He lives for free on the barracks. But, you know, you can get, what's it called? Not HOA, but basically where they'll pay for your housing off barracks, the service. So he takes his liberty to do that so he can get a place for the brother's sake. It's a 2-bedroom apartment for the dude who he perceived to be his brother that's staying. This guy Joshua Miguel, or Bob Ball, or the Dominican, whatever you want to call him.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-20 West.
So this dude, to repay Shaquat for getting a house for him to stay and letting him stay there rent free, he sleeps with the brother Shaquat's wife. That's what he does, right?
Continue on I-20 West for 8 miles.
Sleeps with the brother Shaquat's wife as a thank you for the brother housing him, right? As a result of that, he gets kicked out of GMS Seattle. This is literally within weeks of me coming to GMS Seattle. So I get to GMS Seattle and I'm hearing this, and I'm hearing a testimony about this. There's other testimony I heard about him having adulterous-like behavior and also having sodomitish-like behavior, right? I'm not going to dwell and talk about that too much. But I've heard testimonies from reliable, reputable, and trustworthy men in regards to these things, right? So, anyway, after he gets kicked out of GMS Seattle, he moved to Florida with his mama. When he's down in Florida, I'm getting a call. Brother Lazar calling me. I'll get back with you out. He moved down to Florida, and word on the street is he had sex with somebody's wife down there in Florida. After that, he reinvents himself. I don't hear about him, see him, or anything for a while. Then all of a sudden, I got the quiet call. Shaitan the quiet, I'll call you back. Everybody hear me? Everything's cool?
Yeah, you good, we good.
All praise Yahweh. All of a sudden he reinvents himself, and I run back into him when something called the Hebrew War Machine emerges. I'm invited into the Hebrew War Machine by the brother Nasi, YASHARAHLA, shortly after his unanimous victory against Sarasota Seti. And all of a sudden I see this dude Joshua Miguel, and he kind of hits me up like, yo, it's me. Like, let me know it's him. And I don't mess with him. I don't mess with him in any context. Because number one, Shaquat and my interactions with Shaquat and the type of man that I know the brother Shaquat to be, the level of integrity I know the brother to have, you know, the type of brother that I know he is, I couldn't respect that you had sex with the man's wife. I couldn't accept that. I couldn't accept him for that, right? Period. That's an evil sin regardless, but goddamn, you know. So anyway, and then the cold part is how, because I gotta backtrack now, how we even found out, not we, because I wasn't even there yet, how it was even found out that he committed adultery with Shaquat's wife was the wife told Shaquat. He didn't come out with it. Then when it came out, he literally swore to Yahweh, which you're not supposed to do, that he didn't do it. Give me the false, if you give me the false swear scripture too, like, that he didn't do it. Then he skipped camp, made the brother skip camp, and got high with him, blew a blunt with him, got him high, then he finally confessed. So he added a lot of sin to sin in that situation. Right? But again, fast forward back to Hebrew War Machine.
I got the scripture.
Get that, please.
This is Leviticus chapter 19, verse 12. And ye shall not swear by my name falsely.
He did it. Thou shalt not. Violated that commandment. Adding sin to sin after already committing a sin unto death. Then get somebody high. Right? It's an evil, evil nigga.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It says, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am Yahweh.
He profaned the name of Yahweh by doing that. Yeah, so like I'm telling you, go ahead. I'm giving a damn testimony. Anyway, he popped up back on the scene, whatever. Through the Hebrew War Machine. He joined a camp, Swords of Zion, headed by my brother Shofar out there in Detroit. He was in Seattle, and he went up to our camp in Seattle after this time. And I was hit up about it after, like, he wanted to kind of come and hold Unity Camp, and I let the brothers know that was there, and in particular the officer at the time who was a part of our camps, Rayebi, who's no longer a part of our camp.
In 2 miles, take exit 56B for Windsor Street.
And I know y'all probably seen him saying all kind of stuff, making his videos. It is what it is. If you ask Rayebi about this, he'll tell you. I've said what I had to say in regards to Rayebi on my Facebook Live the other night and on the live he did. 56 billion. I still don't know Atlanta yet, so like. Anyway, so he popped up on our Seattle camp. And he wanted to know if he got, I told, and he came around a couple times, and then I told, you know, Rayebi to let him know, hey, stop coming around. And Rayebi told me straight up, and I believe the testimony Rayebi gave in regards to this, that he got a sodomite vibe from this dude. And I believe it wholeheartedly, because I've heard testimony, precept officer.
1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 9. I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators.
Exactly. We're not dealing with fornicators. This dude is a fornicator. What is fornication? An unlawful sex act. Adultery against a solid, decent brother that had enough love to give you a place to stay when you were homeless, nigga.
In half a mile, take exit 56B for Windsor Street,
Right.
Spring Street.
So, you know, there's that, right? Oh, shit. Wrong exit. We'll be all right. We can get there this way, though, too, right?
Yeah,
We
probably.
go this way sometimes, right?
It's all through the spirit.
It's all through the spirit.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-75 South, I-85 South. Continue on I-75 south for 1 mile.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So yeah, we said, hey, look, bro, get the hell up out of here. Like, stop coming around, basically. He had to be told. You know what I'm saying? He had to be told that. Because he's a weirdo. Right? So, you know, we don't hear nothing about him. Then all of a sudden, coming on Facebook, this nigga get thrown off a 5-story building
In half a mile,
in
take
Detroit.
exit 244 for University Avenue.
Detroit or Chicago or something. He get thrown off a 5-story building and is laid up in a hospital. And all I can think in my mind is, how the hell and why the hell and who the hell was mad enough at you to throw you off of a 5-story
Take
building?
exit 244, then keep right at the fork.
What are you into that got you thrown off a 5-story building? That's what I want to know.
Keep right at the fork.
You got to be into some stuff. You got to be into drug money. You got to be into some street stuff for a nigga to want to throw you off a 5-story building. You couldn't walk for a second. And I remember after that news broke, I went snooping on his page, and I seen him having a conversation with somebody who was not in the truth, who was a blood.
Continue on
type of
University
blood.
Avenue, southwest for half a mile.
Some type of a New York blood, right? And you know, I have some familiarity with New York bloods. I was really close with Young, had moved to California from New York, from Queens. You know, and I kind of got familiarized with, you know, their politic and how they get down, and the different sets that exist that kind of were birthed in New York or whatever, right? You got 9 trade gangs, the G-Shine, sex, money, murder, etc. Right? But I also know how a lot of the New York blood guys have a habit of switching sets, right? Why is this relevant? Because the conversation that he's having was basically like, oh yeah, I was non-trade, but I just turned G-Shine, or something stupid like that. Meanwhile, this dude's a Hebrew Israelite, in the truth, etc. You know? It's like saying, yeah, bro, I just turned.
In 1,000 feet,
was a
turn
Hoover.
right onto Metropolitan Parkway southwest.
I'm in the truth, I'm in Sicarii, I'm teaching, I'm doing the work. All of a sudden, I turn from a Hoover to a damn rolling 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I even sound? That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? That whole thing is
Take
something
the
we
next
left
right onto Metropolitan
in the
Parkway
past.
southwest.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we're not doing that no more, but you're however many years in the truth, so-called, that you are, and you're still gangbanging on Facebook and talking about it, and talking about how you, not only are you still gangbanging, it's one thing, like, oh, you're on there repping the gang that you've been repping since before you were in the truth, which I don't think somebody should do, but that's one thing. To say, okay, I done turned to a whole nother gang, you know, just now, and a nigga threw me off the roof, and wonder why you get threw off the roof, right? Whatever. So that happens. Then all of a sudden, his wife posts all over Facebook, this man molested my 7-year-old daughter. Mind you, that 7-year-old is not his daughter, right? She molested her 7-year-old daughter. I automatically believe it. I know that there has to be, you know, to officially substantiate things like that, there has to be a trial process. I understand that. Well, a student Torah, Levitical priest, for God's sake, right? So I understand that, but I believe it. Why do I believe it? Because I know his track record, and sexual deviancy is all throughout his track record, right? We know Simeon and Levi are brothers. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. Let them be not united, right? Why do I say that? Because there is a rivalry and distaste that exists between Haitians and Dominicans in the world, right? I say all that to say that when I first got to GMS Seattle and I learned about this dude, I used to say I'm glad that he was out of here before I got in here, because I cannot stand a sexual deviant Dominican. That's what I said. I can't stand a sexual deviant at all. But I'm not gonna act as if the kind of Haitian-Dominican rivalry didn't play a part in that. And I love Dominicans, don't get me wrong. But there is some certain rampant sexual deviancy that runs among certain Dominicans. It's just a fact. And amongst all tribes. Nobody's exempt from that. All right? Make sure that's clear. But I said that. So understanding that he's a sexual deviant and understanding that sodomitical behavior, substantiated adultery at least once, speculatory 2 or 3 other times, or 1 or 2 or 3 other times. He was on the path of fornication. What's the next level? After you deal with that level of fornication, well, what's the next level of fornication that you're going to go to? Oh, child molestation. That's the next stop on that satanic train to figurative hell, right? So it was well within his repertoire and his wheelhouse to go that route. So I didn't dispute it for 1 second. I firmly believed it, and I immediately took a strong stance against him, though some people were trying to defend him, man. Right? And
in a quarter mile, use any lane to turn right to stay on North Side Drive Southwest.
And he went on a run, and word had it that he went to Mexico for a time. After he left Mexico, he passed into California. While in California, he gets picked up on a different charge. They find out this warrant is out for him in Michigan, and he gets extradited to Michigan.
Use any lane to turn right to stay on North Side Drive Southwest.
He gets extradited to Michigan for child molestation charges. Child molestation charges.
In half a mile, turn right onto Nelson Street Southwest.
You know, serious, very serious child molestation charges. All right? That was about a year ago. So I get a phone call at that time when he got apprehended with his mugshot. And I got a picture of his mugshot text message to me from an elder brother who I've had the privilege of knowing for a few years, an elder brother that was a part of the original One West expansion to the West Coast in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then later the original Shield of Wisdom in LA. You know, an elder brother with much wisdom
Take the second right onto Nelson Street Southwest.
Who I've been able to build with for some time, you know, by the grace of the Most High. Right? He gives me a ring.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Martin Luther King Jr. Drive Southwest. Take the next left onto Nelson Street Southwest. In 800 feet, turn left onto Centennial Olympic Park Drive.
So, yeah, so the elder calls me and he's like, look, bro.
Turn left onto Centennial Olympic Park Drive.
He's like, look, bro, here's the mugshot. They caught him. Do me a favor and post this on your Facebook. I said, oh, I'm going to post this on my Facebook. I post it on my Facebook. Gets a lot of attention, gets Israel buzzing through the spirit of the Most High, spirit of Yahweh, and a lot of comments, whatever. That was last year sometime. I get a call a little over an hour ago from this same elder, Elder Michael Allah, or Michael Ben Israel. He leads the Fountain of Wisdom congregation, just so y'all can know exactly who I'm talking about. And you know, he's been close with the mother throughout this whole situation. Anyway, yeah, so anyway, he called me, he tell me they've been in court all week behind this. And they threw out a substantial amount of evidence. I was supposed to put that bugging. Am I bugging? I'll show you. Okay. I'm bugging.
In 600 feet, turn left onto Chapel Street Southwest.
Okay. They threw out a lot of evidence, text messages. They threw out a lot of evidence. He tells me he got a call
Take
from...
the next left onto Chapel Street Southwest, then turn right onto...
I think, up there.
Oh, no, I gotta go right, left, right here. Then right. Okay.
Yeah.
So they threw out a lot of evidence for whatever reason. And he says, but he got convicted. And he says, do you want to know how he got convicted? What convicted him? What the prosecutor used in his closing statement that ultimately got the guilty conviction? He said, your Facebook post. They threw out, again, text messages, direct communication that was had. But they took that Facebook post that I posted and they talked about my testimony and other people from the community. And he said, look how his own community knows about the evil and the deviancy that he does. And they utilized that to convict him. He was offered a deal for 6 to 8 years. He turned it down. He's now looking at 65. He now realistically will probably do 10 to 25, which is going to be a really hard time for somebody with that type of crime. Might not be something he even makes it through. But Yahweh judged that matter, how he did it. Now me, I'm not a fan of the police. I'm not a fan of the judicial system. I don't like seeing black and Hispanic men incarcerated unless they're child molesters. Child molesters, rapists, things of that nature, those are the only guys that I have no problem seeing going to jail. That's who I think belongs in jail. I don't care what nation, what skin color he is. If he's a child molester or a rapist, lock him up. I think something actually more should be done than that, which should really be his death, right? But we're in a place where they send people to prison. So hey, if that's how it works, that's how it works. And some of those individuals, they don't make it through their prison sentence. But I let Yahweh do whatever he wants to do. The Most High gonna do what he want to do in that situation. But you know, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, that man is finally off the streets. He's finally out of Israel, and he has a lengthy stay in prison for his crimes. And when I say his crimes, I mean his violations of Torah, his violations of the chosen children of Yahweh in adultery and molestation and all other forms of debauchery and fornication. I praise Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai for that. Sincerely. And I also praise Yahweh that the elder called me and told me to make that post, and that my post ended up being the catalyst for the judgment. I thank Yahweh for being a part of it. I thank him. Right? I'm not rejoicing at the man's downfall. I'm rejoicing at the judgment of Yahweh. You know?
Press the button and take the parking ticket. Please take the parking ticket. Please enter following the guidance.
You know, and I'm just glad that I can have been a service to my nation, to assist my nation in getting him the hell out.
That's right.
Period. All praise Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. But let's hit these precepts and then we're going to go ahead and get to camp.
This is Leviticus 18 and 17. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter.
So that's wicked in and of itself, let alone it's a child.
Right.
But you're not supposed to uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, period. You dealt with a woman, you cannot deal with her daughter, or you can't deal with her mother. That's evil as hell. In and of itself, let alone it's a child. So he's violating Torah left and right. Go ahead.
It says, neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinsmen. It is wickedness.
It is wickedness to do that. It is literally described in the Torah as wickedness.
That's right.
Go ahead.
This is Sirach chapter 23 and verse 16. It says, two sorts of men multiply sin, and the third will bring a wrath. A hot mind is as a burning fire.
Right? Well, that's what he got, a hot mind to be doing this type of stuff. You gotta have a hot mind for that. Go ahead.
It says, it will never be quenched till it be consumed.
Uh-huh.
A fornicator in the body of his flesh will never cease. And that's why he kept doing, like you were saying, the things that he did. He went from an adulterer to a child molester. He never ceased. It says it will never cease till he hath kindled a fire. Yeah, that's him. Now I'm gonna jump to verse 19. It says, such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts.
You see that? The most secret part. So he knows, Yahweh knows everything that you got going on. He sees it. You see what I'm saying? And if you're being evil, especially on that level, you'll be exposed. And more importantly than even being exposed, sometimes you won't even be exposed. But you know what will happen? You'll be judged. Because a lot of us knew about what was going on. Some people he fooled, but a lot of us knew what was going on with this dude. And some people didn't even believe up to this point. So regardless of the exposure, he got his judgment. Yahweh is known in his judgments, man. More precepts?
God, this is I'm gonna start at this is Mark 4:22. It says, for there is nothing hid which shall not be made manifest, neither was anything kept secret, but it should but that it should come abroad.
Okay, there you go.
And,
go ahead, anything else?
This is Psalm chapter 91 verse 8, just to close. It says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
There you go. He did wickedness according to Torah.
Oops.
And we're seeing the reward of that very wickedness right now. We're seeing the reward of it. Next month he'll be sentenced. Another precept?
Yeah, this is the last one. 1 Corinthians 6:9 now. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
Mm-hmm.
Be not deceived, neither fornicators,
neither what?
Fornicators,
that nigga's a fornicator. Go ahead.
Nor idolaters, or adulterers, or effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves,
nor effeminate. Go ahead.
Yeah, nor thieves, nor covetous.
Abuse themselves with mankind, at least in some degree or another. Go ahead.
Nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God.
See that? That's it. That's an evil nigga, man. That's an evil, evil, evil nigga. And Yahweh's judging, and I don't believe the judgment's over. Right? But with that, I give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. Getting ready to go out here to camp. So, Shalom.